What if your chickens weren't just for laying eggs? What if they were chosen specifically, destined even, to protect their coop against an army of predators? That would sound like the pitch to a new animated film, but it's not. This is Flock Together, a cooperative game with a biblical twist. We're going to get into all of it in this review, starting with the rules rundown. We'll go over the clever mechanics. Then we're going to get into the main review itself with the good, the bad, and the biblical. And we'll wrap it all up by unpacking the unique spiritual truth that can be found in a game about chickens fighting raccoons. We're going to break that all down to answer the big question, which is this game worth your money, and more importantly, a space on your game table? Flock Together is a cooperative game with an action point system where you'll be working together with your fellow chicks in order to defeat predators before the seasons run their course. This is a first-time game designed by designer Matt Mundy, published by Sea Cow Games with lead artist Andrew Bosley. This game supports 1 to 5 players, is rated for ages 10 and up, and takes about 25 minutes per player to play. The story. It's true what they say about the devil, you know. It's easy to grow stagnant under oppression. The prey of the world all grouped together in a teeming town of furry and feathery friends alike, thriving in safety, shutting out harsh natural hazards and hungry enemies. Roosting together there was safety. Together there was prosperity. But hierarchies formed as hierarchies do, and one group of poultry faced persecution. Chickens were mocked. They were devalued. They were bullied and teased and underappreciated. The squirrels and rabbits tittered about the chickens' weakness, odd coming from rodents. Turkeys mocked their intelligence, even odder coming from the dumbest creatures wearing feathers. The other birds chortled about the chickens' flightless wings. Chickens began to lose their confidence and self-esteem along with their place in society. They bent under the oppression. But Andrew Beakley did no such thing. He knew the chickens had true potential. Beneath their feathers and wobbling red combs, he knew their chicken chests held hearts of fire. He gathered his fellow chickens, one and all, and proposed a solution. "We know our worth," he crowed. "We know our strength. It's time we proved it to the world. Let's leave and found our own village, where chickens will be appreciated and understood. We will be independent. Let us create our own prosperity." The rest of the villagers gathered to giggle and chuckle, even fully laugh at the departing poultry. They assumed the chickens would come crawling back. They couldn't have been more wrong. Beakley led the chickens to a fertile area near a fruitful forest. They built grub ranches and corn farms. They built fences that almost stood up. They built homes that only blew away once a month. They began foraging and trekking farther than any could have imagined, and their new home was simply named the Coop. But they weren't out of the woods yet. Their fellow prey weren't the only creatures who underestimated them. There was a city of predators. The inhabitants of that city thought so little of the chickens in the coop that they thought it would be easy to pick them apart for food and fun. Even if the chickens could face the weather in the wild, they were enemies to evade and defeat. But Beakley would no longer be able to help. The first winter he caught the bird flu, but in his fever he was shown a dream. When he awoke, he called to his bedside 11 chicks, his wards, all of different breeds and strengths, the strongest of the bunch. "Before my dream was but words," he cawed hoarsely. "I wish to prove our strength in the face of hate and doubt. Give chickens the confidence to live and live well. But now I have also seen a brighter future in my dreams." The chicks, usually so loud, listened in solemn silence. "I saw the future, flawless and beautiful. A stable world prepared for all hardships. Respect won. Predators defeated." He leaned forward, feathers drooping. "You are the leaders I leave behind. Survive the year, and this future will be truth." Falling back into the nest, he sighed. "Die, and this was all foolishness. Now I go elsewhere. Perhaps there I will finally fly." And he breathed his last breath. The chicks bowed their heads, and when they lifted their eyes, they were filled with conviction. They had to survive 1 year. preferably longer. Countless dangers, it had begun. How are these chicks going to protect their coop? Let's head to the rules rundown to find out. Come on. Flock Together is a cooperative game where everyone works together to defeat all the predators on the board before time runs out. If you succeed, you all win together. If you fail, either because all the chickens are defeated or because one is still down when the last predator falls, you all lose together. It's a classic us against the game setup. The game is played over 3 seasons, each with a set number of rounds, which is kept track of by the really cool weather vane piece. The core gameplay loop is every chicken will take 2 actions, which we'll get to in a moment, and then move the weather vane. After all the chickens have taken their actions, you will move the weather vane 1 space and get rid of one of the available options of grubs. You will, at certain points, also do egg exchanges in order to gain resources, as well as turn over another weather event, which can be either good or bad for the players. You'll also notice this fire token here, which is a once per season extra action, which will allow a player to have 3 actions on their turn instead of just 2. This action resets at the end of each season. And like I said, on your turn you get to perform 2 simple actions. There are 8 possible actions, but your location, either safe inside the coop or in one of the outer yard locations, will determine which actions you have available to take. Before you take your actions, you will need to be mindful of the production phase, which at the beginning of the game will allow you to receive 1 resource, but as you level up your chick into a chicken throughout the game, you will eventually get the opportunity to gather eggs instead, which are a more powerful resource. Now, what are these actions that you get to choose from? The first actions we'll look at are ones that you can take inside the coop. The first is to lay an egg. You'll notice you cannot do this until you have leveled up from being a chick, but this will allow you to gain 1 egg. The next action you can take in the coop is the heal action, which allows you to pay 1 resource per heart that you heal. As you level up your chick, you will be able to heal more per action. The last action unique to the coop is the brood action, which allows you to pay 1 egg to revive another player. However, this will cause you to skip your next turn. Now for the 2 actions that are unique to the yard would be the eat action, which allows you to pay a resource in order to increase your meal counter, which is what allows you to eventually level up your chick. The other action is the forage action, which simply allows you to gain 1 resource. There are 3 other actions that you can perform in any location, the first of which is the move, which simply allows you to move to a different location. You can also draw a bonus card, which are very powerful abilities that you can use at any point during the game. The last one, which will be the main action you will want to use in order to win the game, is the attack action, which allows you to pay 1 resource per hit you would like to place on a predator. Now let's take a closer look at the attack action. If your chick is on the same location as a predator, you can spend resources up to the number of punches that are on your chick per attack action in order to hit the predator that many times. Now, something to be mindful of as you attack predators are the claw marks that they have on their character booklets. These will be the hits that your chick will take each time they attack, unless they are diminished by a grub card or a special bonus card that the chick may have. You'll also notice that predators have unique defense abilities that will either require a dice roll to see if they take effect, but some will be automatic, assuming that a specific requirement has been met. You will want to take these predators out quickly, as at the end of each season, every predator that has not been defeated will level up, which may cause them to gain more health or more attacks or both. As mentioned before, predators are not the only ones that can level up. When using the eat action, the first time you use it, you will spend a resource. and you can place that resource on the meal counter. Each subsequent use of the eat action will allow you to spend a resource to move that resource along the meal counter. Once you have reached the specified meal counter space that is specified on the chick booklet, you will be able to level up your chick, which will give you more hearts, another bonus ability, the ability to gain eggs, as well as allow you to be more efficient with your different actions. And that's the basic flow of the game. You and your friends will move around gathering resources, taking out grubs, gathering bonus cards, and doing your best to take out the predators before they level up until you finally get to the final boss, which will be revealed once you have defeated all other predators. If you're able to defeat the final boss with all of your chicks being alive and healthy, you win the game. We're going to get into good, the bad, and the biblical. There's a lot to like in this box, and we're going to start with the art and components. Andrew Bosley is my favorite board game artist, and he has done great work in this game. He makes a game about fighting chickens look so inviting, so much fun, very whimsical. I just love his style. I really love that on the game board there's an Easter egg for another one of his games, and that is Everdale. It's actually a Easter egg from Everdale Pearlbrook. There's a Bosley, the artist. He's got a picture of that crab on this board. I really enjoy that. But all of the different chickens, they look very different. All of the predators look amazing. I love how as you flip through the booklets as these different animals level up, they change and they grow, they get bigger or more menacing if you're the predators. And it is just such a fun look, fun design. Everything about it looks great. The symbology, I think, is really well done in this game. It's very easy to tell where the coop is, where the yard is, and the symbols match the action boards up for each player, as well as on the game board. So it's very easy to tell where you can use the different actions. I really enjoy that. The fists on the combat cards on the player booklets are very easy to tell how many hits you have in order to hit the opposing characters. You know exactly when you're going to be using a dice or when you're just gathering resources. Just the whole layout is really well done. Big pro for the production as well was with the bonus cards. When you grab those bonus cards, they have on the top half just quick symbols, which I found to be very easy to tell what they were saying. But even on the bottom half of those cards, they give an even more clear explanation for what each of those bonus cards do. So that was very helpful. If you ever had a question, it was just right there on the card. So that was awesome how they did that. And then the different resources and the eggs, I really like that there is a variety of them. All of the resources act the exact same. It's just a matter of, do you want to get creative and have different resources on your board or different colored eggs. So that's really well done in order to make it look a little nicer on the table, but also be very functional. The wood pieces are awesome. I really like that instead of cardboard. Really the only cardboard in the game are the player tokens that just are reminders for what color meeple you are on the board. The dials for the health for each of the predators, those are just really well designed. I love the weather vane. And then the first player token, which super unnecessary but looks super cool, which I'm all about in board games. If there is an upgrade that you can have in a game, I want it. So that's really cool. I love the production for Flock Together. But just the art and components are not going to make a good game. Let's get into the gameplay. I love the simplicity of the two actions that you have to take. The phrase that came to mind when my wife and I were talking through this game was the simple actions that lead to good choices. You only have two actions you can take. They divide them up really well on where you're at on the board, so you know exactly what you can do when you need to move in order to perform another action. But you're only doing 2 of them. You can do a couple of them twice, which comes in handy very often. And then you also have that extra action that you can use once per season, which just gives you that little extra boost, which is huge in this game. If you saw my initial thoughts on it, this game is wound up pretty tight as far as the amount of actions that you have in order to complete the game on time. So having that extra action each round, you have to use it wisely at the right time, but when you do find that perfect time to use it during a round, it can be a game changer. So I really love the action system in this game. All the actions seem fairly useful. The only action that my wife and I didn't really use would be the brood action, as we were pretty terrified to actually lose our chick, so we didn't really mess with that. But the rest of the actions, very useful, very easy to understand. I really like the variety in characters and predators in the game. All of them are very unique, with different abilities that you can use. Again, like I mentioned, the unique artwork. So the variety in the game, and the grubs, the characters, everything, there's great variety being shown in the game. And variety with a purpose. It was all very useful and neat things to be able to see, like a very cool ability that would pop up they hadn't seen before, or just a different counterattack that made you have to think slightly differently in the game. So very good variety in the game. The weather effects I thought were well implemented to give a little bit of pushback on your actions. There is a lot of negative effects, which makes it feel really good if you flip over an actually good effect that really boosts you during a round. You really want to take advantage of that. But the negative effects never felt too punishing, which is a fine balance in some of these games, where they have these negative effects, but man, it just feels so overbearing, and it just makes it feel almost impossible to win. These didn't feel like that. They were there, you felt them, but not too much. Now for the bonus cards, the grubs and the loot in the game, every bonus ability that you got felt useful, and they felt almost necessary to have in order to win the game. At first you think to yourself, the main goal is to just take out the predators, so why would I spend time attacking the grubs? But you'll find the more you play it, you almost have to take the time to attack those grubs in order to gain the special abilities, or in order to gather resources more efficiently. Same with pulling bonus cards. It almost feels like a wasted action, where you should be using that time to move to a different predator in order to attack, or move to gather resources. But those bonus cards are such game changers if you get the right one at the right time. So those are actions that, as you play, feel better and better. Whenever you defeat a predator, you gain a loot item from them. And there was not one time we gained a loot and we're like, oh, that's too bad, that wasn't as exciting. Every time we got a loot card, it was like, oh man, that is like an amazing ability. I can't wait to use that. So I really love the thought that went into the different bonuses, loot, and grub cards. Also really enjoyed in this cooperative game, they gave a nice leveling system. We played the standard system mostly. We might have actually played some of the harder bosses our first game or so, which you could really feel the difference, especially when we went back and played the easy mode. That easy mode definitely felt easy compared to like your standard modes, so I feel like they did a good job leveling those off. Now I will say that the easy mode, though it felt easier, it wasn't mindless. You still had to cooperate, still had to think together, and it even felt easier, I believe, based on the chick that I had during that game, which really worked out with the different predators that we were playing. So that easy mode felt nice. My wife thought that that was the more fun version of the game than playing the standard way, which felt pretty difficult. So that the difficulty system is a win in my book, especially if any cooperative game. So that's a lot of good about the game, but obviously no game is perfect. So we're going to talk about the bad parts about this game. The first is going to be the dice, which can be a little funky to get used to. They've got the different parts of a chicken on there, where your 2 would be the 2 feet of the chicken, your 3 and 4 would be your 2 wings, your 5 is the frill or whatever. And then you've got the 1 in the back, and then your 6 was just, it wasn't, all the other numbers were very easy to tell, like you had your 1 dot, your 2 feet, and then all the other different parts of the dice. But then you just had the beak, and the first few times you play, it's kind of like, wait a second, what is that? Oh yeah, that's the 6. It only takes a couple of times because, like I said, all the other ones have a number. So it's just like, oh, whenever you don't see a number, you just see the beak. That's a 6. But the other bad about this game is really just comes down to the scope. So it's kind of a bad-ish. There is a lot of moving parts to the game where you have abilities on your character card. As you take bonus cards, you then have special abilities there that you can look at. If you defeat grubs, there are more special abilities that you have to watch out for. And you also have to take into account when you attack predators and the grubs that there are negative effects that's coming back at you. You have your meal counter to keep track of, resources, your eggs, moving the weather vane. What is the negative weather effect that I have to watch out for? You almost need to get between rounds a little mechanical on making sure, did I hit my production phase, which I cannot tell you how many times my wife and I had to be like, oh wait, I forgot we needed to grab that production piece, or right before we're about to roll the die, it's like, oh wait a second, we should have rolled that for my egg at the start of the round. There are just certain things like that that are very easy to miss. Obviously not game breaking. Still enjoyed that first play and subsequent plays, but that's just something to keep track of. If that's not something you're into, you like to have things that are a little more just in line. You don't have to keep spreading your attention around to different things. Something to keep in mind. Now the bonus cards and grub abilities and the loot, like I mentioned, were amazing. I will say the bonus abilities for the different chickens that my wife and I played, they felt nice, and when you read them, they seemed great. But they definitely came across as being a little situational. And that might have been the purpose of them, to have a few really big, powerful moments. But it definitely seemed that some may have been a little stronger than others. Some are a little bit more fun to play than others. So that's the good, that's the bad. And then for the biblical, this is a section where I bring out anything that would be not family friendly in the game, or something that would not be Christ glorifying, which in this particular game, there's nothing to speak of. There's nothing gross, there's no language in the game. It's just kind of a fun, whimsical time of chickens fighting predators. Nothing to speak of in the biblical section. So we've covered the good, the bad, and the biblical. If you are finding this review helpful, it would be awesome if you headed down and gave us a like and a subscribe. It's a free way to support what we do and allow us to bring more content like this to you. Your support makes a huge difference. Now let's get into the more unique part of the game, that biblical twist. Welcome to the Faith Lens. This is a part of the video where I take a theme or a board game mechanic and derive a spiritual application from it for our benefit and, more importantly, God's glory. Now you can absolutely play flock together and just enjoy the atmosphere of being heroic chickens. But you could also see an undercurrent of the Christian aspects of community. These are specifically reflected in Paul's teaching in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, specifically in verses 12 through 27, where he is talking to the believers of the Corinthian church and sharing with them that, hey, God has made us like a body, the body of Christ. Here's what he says in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 14, for the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not the body, is it therefore not of the body? And as he keeps going down, he refers to other members feeling inadequate, like, hey, I'm not the ear, I'm not the eye, I'm not useful to the body. He goes on to tell us, like, hey, if the whole body was an eye, how are we going to hear? How are we going to walk around? If everything was an ear, how are we going to smell things? How are we going to work properly if everybody has the same ability? On the other side of that, he goes on to say in verse 21, and the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head to the feet, saying, I have no need of you. Like, everybody, every part of the body is necessary in order for it to perform its function. This is the central mechanic and spiritual truth of flock together. Think about it. We aren't playing as just generic chickens. We have those chicken meeples, but we all have those really cool booklets that show very unique chickens. And each of those chickens has a special ability on there that separates it from the other chicks. You might have some that are really good at gathering resources. Maybe another chick is really strong, has a lot of health, can take a lot of hits for the team. Maybe another one makes it easy to heal. And you have all of these different aspects that come together that need to work together in order to complete the mission. In the same way, we as believers have been brought together by God, have been given different abilities that are different from anybody else in the world. We have been given different opportunities than anybody else in the world in order to complete the mission God has placed before us, and that is to spread the gospel to every creature. It's to be kind to our neighbors, to help our fellow men. We have our special abilities that God has given to us to meet that need in our own unique way, in a way where we cannot say, I'm useless, there's nothing that I can do, or you know what, I can do it all on my own, I do not need any help. If you were to take that strategy in this game and never help somebody out, never talk to somebody about the best strategy, you're going to lose this game. You have to cooperate. You cannot beat every predator on your own. You have to have the help of another chick. In the same way, we have to have the help of our fellow believers. Understand what our role is. Find out what your strengths are. Understand what your weaknesses are. And find somebody that can help you with those. By framing the cooperative challenge this way, Flock Together becomes more than just a game. It becomes a helpful teaching tool that you can use to discuss the community that we need to form, as well as supporting one another by showing how each member is valuable and using each other's gifts to further God's mission for us. Well, that's going to do it for today's Faith Lens. Let's head over my final thoughts, and then I'll give you my ratings at the end. Flock Together is a great cooperative game. My wife and I have enjoyed each play of it. The uniqueness of it is awesome. It's very different from many cooperative games that we've played, with the leveling up system as well as the attacking mechanism. I really enjoy the simplicity of the combat mechanism in this game, especially seeing as that's the main drive for winning this game. I like it when it's just a straight, this is how much you can hit for, here's how much you're going to get hit back. Are you willing to take that hit? Or do you take the time to gather bonuses and grub cards in order to be able to mitigate that damage, which you almost have to do in this game if you're going to be able to win. It's just a really great puzzle is really what it is. The player boards themselves act like a player aid where they list out all the actions you can take with very clear symbology and text underneath that tell you what those actions do. So that keeps the game moving at a very quick pace when you're choosing your actions. I love the spiral books, leveling up the characters, seeing the changes. Those are so fun. The story behind the game, the different stories of each character, the names of them, the puns that were made in this game are very funny to me. I love that kind of humor. So the setting of the game, the tone of the game really resonated well with myself. So this game overall, very fun. My final rating is going to come in at a 8.5 out of 10. The only reason that I'm docking the game is, like I mentioned in the overview, it can be a little fiddly at times. Also, something to note is the randomness of the die roll in this game. There will be plenty of die rolls, especially for eggs, which can feel really good if you get on a roll and you get a lot of eggs from those production rolls. But there can also be times where you just aren't getting them and can really put you behind the 8 ball if you're not able to turn those in for resources, or if you need those eggs in order to power up some of the bonus cards, bonus abilities in the game. Same with the predators. Some of those, if you roll poorly, like one of the games that I played, there's a predator you can play that will, once you beat him, you'll roll the dice and he might come back on a bad roll. We unfortunately got the bad roll, and so that really set us back in that game. I think we ended up losing in large part because of that, because I had to regather resources and then go back and finish him off a second time. So that can be a little brutal. The resource management in this game is big. It's very tight. You have to use those different food items for pretty much everything you're doing in the game. So that can feel a little tricky to manage, getting those different resources. The setting really bolstered it for me. So this is a really good game in my book. But the big question is it worth it for you? Now, the type of gamers I would recommend this to would be those that are really into cooperative games and into heavier style games. Think Spirit Island. I wouldn't say this is as heavy as Spirit Island, but it's similar in the comboing and managing a lot of different things at a given time. I would say this is slightly easier, but this is not something I would pull out for a new gamer. So that's something to keep in mind there. Like I mentioned, if you're not a huge fan of heavy randomness in a game, then this might not be that for you. There are a lot of dice rolls. If you're not a fan of negative effects, there's a lot of those with the weather cards. So those are some things to keep in mind as you're looking to see if this is a game for you. But if you enjoy that back and forth conversation, a tightly wound game that you will need to puzzle out, make sure it's an efficiency puzzle is really what it is. So if that's something that you're into, maximizing each turn, making sure you're taking the best action at the right time, this is a great game for that. And it's one I think you can learn as you figure out the abilities, figure out the different grub cards that keep coming through, knowing when is the best time to fill up on bonus cards and to use those cards. This would be a great game for that. So that's my rating, an 8.5 for Flock Together. Thank you so much for watching Faith and Board Games. I'm Tyler Cullum. Until next time, flock together and stay awesome.